girl just got fired. She was just too busy working on her creative pursuits, and I'm sure it had nothing to do with a global pandemic of any sort. So she has to downsize now, and so I'm making well, I wanted to make like a tiny home, but as soon as I started the build, it was already more tiles than a tiny home. So I just kind of densely packed it, and it's still based off of a real tiny home I've seen. It's just slightly bigger. So I didn't show actually too much of the build because, as you can kind of see from the outside, I'm atrocious at building. So it's just a rectangle on top of a rectangle. And now I'm working on the bedrooms. And I wanted to do a bunk bed because I've had them for so long. And I've never actually used them, even though she only has one son. I thought it would be kind of cute. I was really making her kind of, a little bohemian, kind of artistic, and she was working just like a pencil pushing kind of job, which is what she got fired from. So now they move into this tiny home, and she's able to work on her creative pursuits, and it was actually a blessing in disguise. So I'm pretty much just cluttering it up, adding some purses and shoes. I put shoes in almost every single room in this house, just because the tiny home that I actually saw had like just one closet off of the bathroom, and it was really small, but I kind of like that. So I have a shared closet for them downstairs, and I just assumed there would be shoes everywhere. And then the teenage boy, I was thinking that he would be into, like space and just like a really smart kind of outdoorsy kind of kid. So actually this location that I use, I've never actually built here before. It's in Brindleton Bay, right? That came with the pets or cats and dogs, whatever. And I actually really like it. It's like so secluded. It might be my favorite. I usually like building in Winterberg, but this looks so cute. So yeah, just adding some stuff, and then also some like skateboards, I guess, because maybe he's also like a skater. He can have multiple interests. And then I added some bean bags. I always think of that movie Good Boys, and it was like the three little kids, and they called themselves the Beanbag Boys, and I always thought that was so cute. And I try to put bean bags in like any room that belongs to a kid. Out on her balcony, I added the flower arrangement table because I thought that's what she ends up pursuing. That's what she's always wanted to do. I actually did the life decider. It's like from Samad. I did it on her, and it gave her a fine arts degree. So when she moved over to the flower arranging business, she actually like started a little higher with a little extra bonus. So it actually worked out very perfectly just for storytelling purposes. And now moving on to the bathroom. Of course, there's that rug that I love to use, and just kind of making it really like cute and cluttered. But so I added the tub and then the shower on it as well. But then I didn't want to like cover it up by like putting a partition or anything, because the space is so small. Actually, I'm not even sure if they can use that shower, but options. I got real excited because I remembered I had all this like random medicine clutter, so I really wanted to showcase them on this step ladder here. And I don't know, I kind of like the way it comes out. I like never use that CC, but I figured why not? And then here is the closet that I was talking about, and I 100% did not even know if it would be functional. I was like, whatever, they're not even gonna be able to step in there anyway. So I wanted him to have kind of like the hanging rack, and then they share the dresser. And then there's like a Kermit the Frog shirt, which I didn't even know I had, but it's so cute. I'm such a big Muppets fan. I was so excited when I saw that. Like, I have all the DVDs and like a Fozzie Bear salt and pepper shaker, just all kinds of stuff. I also wanted to add like baskets and bags and blankets and things like that here, just to make it like part closet, part storage space. Like, definitely when I lived in a studio apartment, my closet was like full of things that should have been in a garage, literally. One of the things I really envisioned for this build was like that bar seating with the window into the kitchen, and I know there are probably easier ways to do it, but I kind of like how it came out. And then I pivot really quickly just because I like went to put something on the wall and realized that the door was just like floating. So I had to add a little step so they could actually get into the house. I thought about putting the cabinets from above the bar like throughout the kitchen, but I like really wanted that big old window there, so I just went for these shelves instead, and I think they're actually really cool. And then there's the little doggy corner, and I don't know why I always do this, but I'll put that little dog calendar right above its dog food, which is so crazy because like, why does a dog need a calendar? Like, I literally don't have a calendar anywhere else in the house except for the dog to see. And then I just get really like cluttery detail in the kitchen. I especially love that corner. That little rice cooker is just, I love that color so much. Like, if I could put that in every single build, I probably would. But it's so useless. It's completely decorative, but it just makes me so happy. Yeah, so just kind of really filling it out to anything that I think that this character would actually use, which is, a fair amount of appliances. And then I found this skeleton and I could not stop laughing at it. And I really considered just like leaving it there, but it didn't seem like the characters would really like that. But I'm definitely gonna put that probably when this new pack comes out and make a cute little haunted house with it. I'm always a little hesitant to add clutter onto the counters that they're gonna be eating on, but I just really liked how this looked kind of like mom on the go. And then once I found that grocery bag, I was like, oh, this is going in every single build I do from now on. My biggest challenge for this build was that I wanted it to be like obviously very small, but I wanted it to be like completely functional. So I was a little hesitant about the laptop there, just because I've used that desk before and it didn't work, but I needed something like really small in that space because there wasn't really anywhere else to put it. But it actually ended up working, so I'm really happy with how it came out. So I just wanted the living room to be like as cluttered as possible, or the whole house really, because I just imagined that even though she had to downsize, she didn't want to part with like any of her furniture or stuff, and so she just tried to make it work in this little house. And I think it looks kind of cute. Like, it looks like it shouldn't work, but they can still get around. So it's like the best of both worlds for me. And I wanted to round out this space with like a little plant stand just because that seemed like a really empty kind of, it's not even a corner, just like an empty wall. So I just filled it out with some random plants and then added some more like lights and candles throughout the rest of the space. And I couldn't find a console that like function that I liked there, so I ended up putting the GameCube there, which I actually love because the GameCube was actually the first thing I ever played The Sims on, so it was kind of nostalgic for me. my original visions for this was this like front porch deck. I saw it in an episode of, it was like a tiny home house hunters, and I just always really liked that idea. Like instead of a backyard, you would just be like all in front, and I think it really works for this build specifically just because the land that it's on is so secluded. And then I try my hand at a little landscaping, which I promise you, like I never do, because again, I am very bad at actually building. I just add hedges everywhere basically, and I add like 2 trees. But just to, I don't know, not leave it so empty. This was actually like, I think the smallest lot in Brindleton Bay, and I was still having trouble filling it out because I'm always just like playing inside the house, so the outside of the house doesn't matter to me as much, but it's definitely something I'm going to work on. That's it for the build, so let's see how she's doing in her new home. Thanks for watching.